There's something I do not understand.
Yeah, you have an answer to my question.
Yes, we were calling about Cinder's appointment. So the appointment fee is $53. If the doctor recommends any cytologies or lab work or anything like that, that would be additional, and they can give you an estimate for that at that time.
Okay, but the basic fee is $53.
Yes, correct.
Thanks very much for calling.
No problem. Do you have any other questions?
I probably do, but I'll think of them later.
I don't really understand how the whole system works. It seems not to really work in favor of the patient in terms of the billing and the costs. I'm in the dark. Are you?
In the year 2015, as we know, it doesn't rain in California anymore. So I often come outside to feed the dogs. And I'm going to feed the dogs while I'm telling the story about Tysabri, because it figures significantly in the Lemtrada story. Ready? Okay, go get it. So I was on Copaxone, and it's a good drug, but it had kind of come to the end of its effectiveness for me. I was continuing to decline pretty rapidly. So I looked around for something else, and my neurologist prescribed Tysabri. Here you go. So I was about 2 or 3 months into the Tysabri infusions. It's a monthly application, as I recall. And my insurance company called me and said, "We're not covering this drug." Oh dear, look at all that cookie stuff. Sorry, Cinder. Go get the ball. The insurance company said they weren't going to cover it, so I called the medical center where I had been prescribed the drug, and I thought they had it all settled, and they said, "Oh, yes, they'll cover it. Everything's taken care of. Don't worry." I called the insurance company back, and they said, "No, we're not covering this drug." And so I called the medical center, and I said, "I just got off the phone with them. They're pretty sure they're not covering it." So this went on and on and on and on, to the point where, Poppy, I had a $63,000 bill hanging over my head. Maybe it was $62,000. $62,000 bill. So for financial reasons, I stopped taking Tysabri, not for health reasons, but for financial reasons. It was pretty early into that drug being on the market, and the PML dangers were still being figured out, and probably the insurance companies were still figuring things out too. Anyway, I stopped that drug. I didn't have to pay the $62,000, and somehow or other things were resolved. But now I'm left without being on any drug at all. This was some years ago. So the reason I tell this story, Cinder, is because in that process of the insurance company telling me, "No, we're not covering this drug," what they voluntarily also told me, I didn't ask them, they just volunteered this information, they said, by the way, the medical center where this drug was prescribed has a 60% markup. 60%, 60%. I don't know if that's a common markup amount. I have no idea about this stuff. Maybe it is. Maybe that's, 60, 70% is not uncommon. Maybe it's common. I don't know. So when I'm talking about the cost of Lemtrada, realize this $158,000 price tag they put on it probably doesn't include the profit margin for the institution prescribing it. Again, the institution, the patient, the neurologist, and the specialty pharmacist all have to be in the REMS program. So there is a cost. Oh, yuck. Too many cobwebs. There is a cost. Oh, Cinder. There is a cost from whatever profit the institution is going to make. Remember, the institution as well as the neurologist has to be in the REMS program, so they're involved. So a 60% markup, if we apply that to Lemtrada, whoops, uh-oh, that was scary, wasn't it? What's the price going to end up being? I don't know what the markup is for Lemtrada. I know $158,000 is not what my insurance company paid, not what I paid, what my insurance company paid. So when you think about the costs of Lemtrada, do consider my experience with Tysabri, which is to say there's going to be a markup in addition to the $158,000 that's been reported as the cost for the complete Lemtrada infusion process, which takes 2 years, right? There's 8 infusions altogether, 5 the first year, 3 the second year. So $158,000 has been reported as the cost for all of that. I don't know what that's based on. We don't have any more food. But do consider there are potentially other costs that you may not have considered.